Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is my fourth time trying to redo this intro because I have a blue healer. He does not like me sitting still for too long, apparently. I have about 30 scripts ready. I love history. I plan on doing all 30 scripts from right here in my living room. This has been a little while in the making. I hope to improve the studio as I continue. I just absolutely love dark and obscure things about our history, and the meme, the government wouldn't do that. Oh, yes, they would. Is my thought process for everything. The government, big business. If it's within self-interest, they will do it. The people you think are looking out for you truly probably don't care about you. And in this channel, like I said, we are going to go down the dark, the obscure, the disgusting, the disturbing parts of American history. Mostly American history because I live in America. Um, I've been interested in all this since about 10th grade, where I had a war history class. And ever since, I've just been kind of steamrolling through every major history topic I can. That interests me, at least. And this is my interest. Fast forward, I can't remember how many years later, but there was a documentary that came out based on DuPont 3M and Teflon, the forever chemical. That really sent me down a rabbit hole to where we are today. Like I said, I have 30 scripts ready for you guys. I hope that we can all grow together. I hope I can find things to put up on these shelves that are empty behind me. I hope we can get a better studio. I hope I can start accepting topics from people and being able to make a video about it. I hope that my personality can translate through this mic. Again, I've never done it. I'm open to any kind of constructive criticism, and thank you guys. So, getting into this, the first topic I want to do is the forever chemical, Teflon, DuPont, and 3M. And most of us grew up around Teflon. Smooth, slick, miracle, waterproof. You could spray it on anything, it'll protect it. Couches, pans, boots, whatever, right? Um, they sold science as marketing because a lot of people don't understand what's happening. I mean, they still do today. They sold that as the marketing and sold it as a modern, clean, convenient solution, which, of course, once you say convenient, Americans are probably going to jump all over that. But behind that glossy commercial, like they make everybody look so happy in for some reason, there was a secret that was never supposed to get out. These companies were obviously clearly aware of it, maybe not from the gate, but that does not change who bears the responsibility. The truth is that DuPont and 3M were some of the biggest chemical corporations in America, if not the biggest at the time. Not sure how loud that truck was. And they created a class of chemicals called PFAS. This stands for per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. I messed that up. Either way, I know what I meant. All right. We all have Google. I don't want you to Google everything, but you can Google that one. Actually, yeah, no, Google's been compromised. Google that if you want to look into exactly what that is. But to the public, they were miracle molecules. We had another chemical that could solve so many issues, just like everything else. But we never looked into the reality of the substance. They are called forever chemicals, which is a hard term to wrap my head around. Um, there's nothing that can break them down. Our body don't filter it, obviously. The soil doesn't. Water won't. Nothing in the environment filters it. We have no means of filtering it. It resists time. And the moment they were made, that was it. They have a birth, they will never have a death. They are just passed on. So let's rewind to the 1930s and 40s, which is where a lot of the world as a whole, World War One, World War Two era, were starting to experiment with chemicals and find uses for them, dual purpose things. What can we sell to the public for this and make military lives better with? That's really the core of it. DuPont stumbled across a substance that resisted heat, stuck to nothing, and they called it Teflon. Roughly around the same time, 3M developed another called Scotchgard. This was a waterproof miracle. These companies sold them as symbols of progress, but only for progress. For the oligarchs, as we found out, the business class, like most other things in America, you are kind of punished for not being rich. Um, by the 1960s, they started to have signs. Now, that is so long ago that I'm surprised they could still legally make this chemical. But think about that. In the 1960s, they started to show signs. Testing showed that there was liver damage in animals, birth defects in animals. Workers in the plant started to get weird illnesses and chemicals building up in the blood of their employees. So they were obviously doing testing. They knew what was happening. It wasn't a rumor, it wasn't speculation, it was their data, and they buried it. Just like every other major institution that does a self investigation, they bury it. In 1981, so now we're 21 years after they figured all this out anyway, they ran blood tests on more people. Happened to be pregnant female workers. Two out of the seven babies from these pregnant workers were born with eye defects. They quietly reassigned women without telling them why that are of childbearing age outside the Teflon unit. That was it. These two babies that had their life completely altered forever, not knowing why, and they were like, you know what? We'll just quietly move people. We won't do anything to compensate the family. We won't do anything to make the mother feel like it wasn't her fault. No, nothing. Just that's disgusting. Um, Let me move here. I'm sorry, guys. In that same year, just to rub salt into the wound here, there was a farmer named Wilbur Tennant. On his farm, which is near the DuPont dumping grounds, I guess you could call it. He uh he noticed that his cows are starting to get black teeth, swollen organs and glands, and they had blood in their poop, bloody feces. He even filmed the evidence. He videotaped the cows as they were wasting away, almost like chronic wasting diseases for deer. I don't know if cows get that, but that's kind of what it looked like. He begged DuPont for answers. He begged state officials for answers, and nobody's cared because money. Everybody will say, like, it didn't have interest, it didn't have a leg to stand on, it didn't have XYZ. No. If you think about it for a second, you follow the money. Obviously, state officials were being paid off to be quiet because it's just one farmer. Why are we worried about him and his cattle? No, it's the entire world. By the 1990s, so we are 30 years into them already doing these studies. They know their employees have it showing up in their blood. They know these babies were born with eye defects. They know it's in the system of the pregnant mom, which is then being passed to the baby. And the stuff is building up. It's not going away. The body's not able to filter it. There was a lawyer named Robert Billet. I am messing up his last name. And he got involved in the first, he reluctantly got involved in the first case against DuPont. He uncovered a literal mountain of internal documents at DuPont and studied hidden. They were stu they were studies hidden away for decades, as we already discussed. This is like 30 years old, so I can imagine when this guy found this, he was like absolutely blown away, completely dumbfounded, as any person with any kind of moral structure would be. Um, there were memos where DuPont executives admitted to the toxicity, and there were just decisions made by them to just keep producing it anyway because the profits outweighed the consequences. What's more American than that? But think about it. Like I just said, they had proof that these chemicals were poisonous. They had proof that it built up in the human blood. It didn't get filtered. They had proof it was permanent. And the decision was send it. Keep going. Because they would lose billions. These select families and groups would lose billions. Now, these chemicals spread everywhere. They leaked into rivers. They seeped in the soil. They went airborne. And decades later, like where we are now, they're inside almost everyone and everything. Everyone and everything. Studies have shown that at least 99%, which, if you ask me, that's almost everything, or everyone, of humans alive today have PFAs in their blood. Not just the people that work there, not the poor babies that were born with eye defects, not just the people near the chemical plant, literally everyone. Infants, children, adult, the elderly, didn't matter. It was in breast milk, it was in rainwater, it was in the city water, it was in the town water, fish, wildlife, you get the point. Um, the fact that blew my mind the most when I did do the research for this video, though, is they have found it in polar bears in the Arctic. I know this is kind of a funny saying, but a polar bear's never seen a frying pan. Now, if I showed my dog a frying pan, he still wouldn't know what it is. But something that far removed from civilization and is still showing up is insane to me. Like that's worse than nuclear disasters. Um, over time, not immediately. I'm saying the spread over time is worse. Radiation has a half-life. PFAS do not. Um, they've been linked to cancers, specifically kidney, testicular, pancreatic. They cause severe damage to your immune system. They disrupt your hormones like so many things do today. They cause high cholesterol, the bad one, ulcerative colitis, and as we know, birth defects. Um, just so it's so sad to me. Um, another thing with this is like, so this isn't in my script, but like a lot of stuff has like I think it's LDL-50, which is like a lethal dose level, and I think 50 is the percent, I don't know, that it takes to kill you. I can't remember. But the thing is with this is there's just no safe level. There's no safe level. You're not going to overdose right away. But it's not like, oh, I can use a little bit and I'll be fine. Or just let me spray this pan real quick and I'll be fine. No, what you are ingesting, is it forever, is not safe at all. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I need you guys to let that sink in. Like a lot of the things that we do know that are bad for us, like alcohol and everything, does have a point where it leaves your body. This doesn't leave your body. Like that's crazy to me. Um, so when it comes to accountability, what do we do? DuPont got sued because it became a nightmare for the company, rightfully so. They should all be in prison. But it didn't stop them because things like this are still being manufactured today. They quietly spun up another company called Chemours, designed to hold the liability for DuPont while the mother company kept making profits. Because there's always a way around it if you're rich in America. 3M also paid out settlements, but to this day, as I said, both companies fight regulation tooth and nail and lobby against the strict bans as they continue to pour millions into delaying action to ban this. Every year they could keep producing this is another year that these disgusting individuals can make profit and poison the human race. And that pisses me off. I mean, again, anybody with a moral compass should not feel comfortable about this. All the pans in my kitchen are cast iron. So where does this leave us? We live in a world where the air, the water, and the soil are laced with invisible man-made poisons. Not on accident, completely by ignorance. But there's deliberate cover-ups everywhere by chemical giants whose money is over humanity. And that's being said by the state and government. They're like, oh, these guys' money means more than humanity, our own citizens. Unlike oil spills and nuclear accidents, there's no cleanup, guys. There's no rewind button. And this isn't a conspiracy. This isn't speculation. It's documented. It's in court records. It's publicly available information. It's in companies' memos that finally surfaced. It's in the lawsuit. And the worst part is it's in your blood, your parents' blood, and your children right now. DuPont and 3M didn't just sell products, they sold humanity a lifelong curse. Not your life, humanity as a whole. The lifespan of our civilization is going to be plagued with this chemical and the disruptions to our systems due to it. And the prices of it are still coming due. We're always going to keep paying this toll. Um, and that pisses me off, guys. It does. It drives me nuts, and still nobody's been held liable. Um, and again, this was a story that really kicked everything off for me. There's no end to it. That's the facts. That's where we're at. And who knows, maybe in another 20, 30 years, there will be people making more videos just like this that explain the effects since. But again, guys, that was my first story. I've never done this before. I hope it went well. Next time we're gonna move on to Niagara Falls, New York, where an entire neighborhood was built on top of a toxic time bomb. Love Canal. I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for spending this time with me, listening, watching, whatever it was. I appreciate it. Until the next one, guys, have a good one.